GamingBolt presents 14 weapons that seem powerful, but are completely useless. We've all had that one weapon in a game that looks amazing. You want to take that weapon everywhere and use it for everything. However, as powerful as said weapon may seem, it's actually pretty bad. Nay, it's actually useless when push comes to shove. Let's take a look at 14 such weapons that seem powerful, but come off as pretty bunk. Beast Claw, Bloodborne. The Beast Claw feeds into one's inner beasthood in Bloodborne, allowing them to do more damage while transforming one's hand into a hairy, oversized claw. The problem here is that beasthood weapons tend to increase the amount of damage you take. Regardless of how cool it looks, the Beast Claw is nowhere near as effective as the best weapons in the game. Green Shell, Mario Kart. Throughout the history of Mario Kart, the blue shell has been the most effective, friendship-ruining tool out there. The red shell can also be pretty annoying thanks to its tracking, but what does the green shell do? It's basically meant for A, those super elite players who want to hit a target several yards away, or B, well, hitting yourself. Either way, despite being in the shell family, it's terrible. Flamethrower, Dead Space. You'd think a friggin' flamethrower would be effective against zombies, but for some reason it just never is. This is doubly so in the case of Dead Space, where necromorphs must be dismembered to properly kill them. That being said, you'd think that a flamethrower would slow them down or something. Better save it for cooking marshmallows instead. KLOBB, GOLDENEYE 007. Named after KLOBB, the KLOBB is probably not the most unflattering homage to the man. Based on the real-life Scorpion, the KLOBB has horrible accuracy and poor damage. When you think about the various things named after developers like Noob Saibot from Mortal Kombat, the KLOBB borders dangerously close to a joke weapon. FARRON Greatsword, Dark Souls 3. The FARRON Greatsword seems overpowered because it's the choice weapon of the Abyss Watchers, some of the tougher bosses in-game. Once obtained, the FARRON Greatsword definitely feels powerful. The problem is its speed. The weapon is horribly slow, making it easy for an enemy to dodge. It also doesn't do enough damage to tougher foes, leaving you open to counterattack. It looks cool, but sadly, that's just it. No Land Beyond, Destiny. The tale of No Land Beyond is a fascinating take on Bungie's weapon balancing in Destiny. Effectively junk in PvE, this bolt-action primary rifle only saw attention in PvP, and that was after ordinary sniper rifles had been nerfed and special ammo saw changes that rendered them impractical. That one of the worst weapons would become meta at some point because everything else was awful is fascinating indeed. EXAGLIPOor, Final Fantasy. The epitome of a joke weapon, or at least it seems to be, EXAGLIPOor is a weapon that calls Excalibur to mind. It even has some great stats and will equip to characters when choosing the Optimize Equipment option. Then you find out that it only deals 1 damage. It doesn't matter if you raise attack or add any kind of buff. EXAGLIPOor will disappoint you at every turn. Hilariously, it appears in many Final Fantasy games, which makes you wonder, why? Leaf Shield, Mega Man 2. What kind of a stupid encircling damaging shield disperses when you move? The Leaf Shield from Mega Man 2, of course. Not only can you not have it active while moving, but the Leaf Shield's omnidirectional attack is actually worse than another ability, the Metal Blade, which is very easy to obtain. Twin Berettas, Counter-Strike. Thanks to John Woo, we were misled into believing that dual pistols are the ultimate equalizer in any encounter. The original Counter-Strike cleared that up pretty quickly with its dual Berettas, guns that cost $1,000 and offered horrible accuracy. Pyramid Head's Great Knife, Silent Hill 2. To be fair to this weapon, of course only Pyramid Head would be able to wield this. That doesn't change the fact that for all of its power, the Great Knife is useless in nearly every situation. Readying it takes a while and you can't move when it's ready. It slows you down while equipped. Most enemies can sidestep the attack and there's just too much time needed to recover for another swing. On the plus side, when scraping against the floor at some points, it will actually fool some monsters into thinking Pyramid Head is approaching, causing them to flee. SRX, Super Robot Wars Original Generation. When the SRX is first formed in Super Robot Wars Original Generation, it's an awesome spectacle. 3 robots combining to form one super robot will always be cool. Except with the SRX. In Original Generation, the SRX can barely dodge attacks and only last for 3 turns. It can't even tank a ton of damage, especially from the R-gun rival at key points which outright owns it. Showstopper, Tom Clancy's The Division. At first glance, the Showstopper looked amazing. A fully automatic shotgun in The Division that grew more accurate as you fired it, and worked with Sentry's Call gear set. Sign us up! Of course, Sentry's Call is only meant to work with semi-auto weapons, so that got changed. Furthermore, the Showstopper itself just didn't measure up in terms of damage numbers. Even with buffs, it's still more of a brief bump than a real stopper. Did we mention it has poor drop rates as well? Gun Del Hell, BOKTAI. Earning the Gun Del Hell in BOKTAI was annoying enough, requiring 4 clears and playing on New Game Plus mode. Range, attack, stun, pretty much every stat is great, and the gun itself shoots darkness for crying out loud. The problem is that its dark elemental nature won't have an effect on most foes. What's good a weapon that doesn't kill most things? MAULER, Halo 3. The MAULER looks intimidating, especially if you dual wield. However, at the time, it just didn't have the range or damage of a shotgun. Sure, you could do some damage when taking on waves of weak enemies, but as a whole, it's not as consistent as many of the other weapons. That being said, when it comes to multiplayer, many players actually like the gun, so draw your own conclusions. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.